I won my. So I had this whole thing going on with my trash company. They wouldn't pick up my trash, so I kept telling on them, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna assign someone to come in and supervise your trash man. He's got a daddy now, basically." And I was like, "Ha ha, fuck him." Well, the trash man showed up.
Tell me more.
Then the trash man shows up and like takes my bin the next week. Clearly, he was like, "Oh, you don't like how I do it? You don't get trash picked up." And I'm like, "Hey, you said you were going to get that guy back in line, right?" And they're like, yeah, we talked to him. He took the bin and they're like, oh man. And it looks like your service has been canceled. It'll be 7 to 10 business days before we can get you a new bin. And I'm like, nah, that's not going to work. Here's the other little catch. When I started renting this place, it was not an HOA. So I'm not in an HOA. I never signed the HOA. But then like 2 months in, they're like, "Hey, turns out it's an HOA." And I'm like, "It's your problem." And they're like, "We'd love you to sign this." I'm like, "Nah, I don't think I want to do that." And they're like, "Well, okay, I guess." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. We have a lease. We have agreement. I'm not signing this." So they are responsible. They are culpable, if you will, for any infractions from the homeowners agreement. So I let them know, I'm going to make a pyramid of fucking trash in front of my nice house here. That is going to be the most unseemly white trash thing you've ever seen. And the animals will get to it long before 7 to 10 business days. And I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you don't.
They showed up in 7 to 10 business hours, it turned out. Hey. So we're all sorted now. We're all sorted now. No need for the pyramid to begin.
So you think.
I mean,
Till next week.
I was so prepared to, like, I have a lot of cardboard boxes. And I usually fold them up. I was going to put them in like square in the big garbage bags and just make it look bigger than it was. Like, big leaf bags full of cardboard boxes. It would look like a mini landfill.
Are you living alone?
But who knows if Debris Daddy's going to be there every week to make sure this guy collects your trash.
I was on a short leave. I've decided I'm not even going to stress. The pile begins when the dumpster fills.
Are you living alone, by the way?
Currently, yeah, but I've got a lady friend close by, and
I wouldn't I wouldn't worry about beef from your neighbors, because like I just feel like if I saw you like that hair, that jacket, and like you're like so straight posture, stoic, you got muscles under there, and you just like, I'd be like, this is some fucking
don't mess with this
Patrick Bateman shit. Yeah. Like I'm not fucking with that guy.
He can put his trash where he wants to. Damn it!
I had a weird interaction with my Malamute. Escaped yesterday morning and went running into the cold morning, and so I chased out after him in my underwear.
This is the mentally disabled dog, right?
You say
all
that, yes.
Dogs are. All dogs
are. And so I chased Rocky down to a nearby yard. There he is, and he's just taking a big old shit right in this guy's yard, and the guy's watching him do it. The guy happened to be up early. He's loading the trunk of his car with stuff. I don't know. He's in his garage, and it's a black guy, and he's watching Rocky take this huge shit in his yard. And he goes, "Just gonna dump it right there, huh?" and I show up, and I'm like in my underwear. I'm like, "Hey, I'm so sorry about him. He's a good boy. He ran away." And he goes, and Rocky like kicks his shit up into the bush and like looks at me all embarrassed. I swear, he always does that when he poops, like kicks it back, and he goes. I go, "I'll come right back. I'll clean it up. I'll get a bag." He's like, he kicked it in the bush. I guess it's cool. He's a pretty boy.
He is a pretty boy.
So I wrestle this stuff. He can't escape anymore. I've gotten the fucking GPS tags, and I've ordered, and I've gotten fucking. I can't let him not be attached or behind a fence anymore, because he will just fucking run off. He's ran off several times.
I live in Canada.
4:30 a.m. I'm in the neighborhood chasing this fucking dog, and it's so quiet. It's quieter than when I was at my dad's house or when I was on the lake back in Franklin County. At least there was like cows or like some Yahoo getting drunk. In this nice neighborhood, it's pin drop silence.
Footsteps and dogs.
I'm like, "Get back here! Get back here!" It seems to. I'm shaking a bag of treats, and I'm like, "Oh, this bag is so loud. I'm gonna wake somebody up." It's that quiet. It's the most frustrating thing ever to chase a dog into somebody's fucking yard at 4:30 in the morning in your underwear and wonder if they're gonna peek out, see Whitey, and shoot. Like, it's mostly black people here. Wants to be like he and the other dog cuddles up with me too. So like I'm on the couch fucking asleep like a hobo, and on my bed upstairs, and I got dogs like all over me, and they all looking at me. They're like, "You looking over us while we sleep, boss?" And I'm like, "Yeah, little buddy, you're safe." And they go,
You good? You good when you sleep
and
on
they
the
like
couch?
fall asleep next to me. It's super goddamn cute. So I'm hoping soon that he's housebroken fully, so I can go back to sleeping in my
But when
bed.
you wake up on the couch, is that like a problem, or you're okay? You're like fine.
Oh,
with
I'm
it?
fine. Yeah, the problem is that he like wakes me up 3 or 4 times in the night. So like,
Right,
not
you two,
haven't been
Josh,
good
you're
at-
good with a couch too, Josh. You wake up on the couch, you're happy. You're like, oh, that's okay. It was kind of a fuck up, but it's no big
Not
deal.
anymore. Not now that I'm the older I get, man, it starts fucking my back up.
I mean, I got
Yeah.
a pillow and a blanket, and I've thrown like a blanket on the couch, and I've got another blanket and a full size.
I just have
pillow.
friends. I have friends that are like, what the fuck, bro? Because I'll sleep on the couch and I'll have a whole sleep on the couch, and I have a perfectly good bed, and
You
I
know what
wake
it-
up and I'm like, okay.
I used
And they're
to.
like,
I don't
nah,
anymore.
not me, man.
It's a different kind of sleep, and it can be good. Like there's something.
True.
Sometimes if I'm on my couch and I like curl up just right with my back into like the corner of the couch, I'm like, oh, this feels really safe and warm and happy. Like I'm not going up there to that bed. Fuck this shit. And and I'll just sleep there. And then there was that time in my life when I was crashing on my buddy's couch for a year, and I didn't mind that a bit. I never cared. Like, of course, I was 18 to 19, so
When I was
That's
young, I loved.
Yeah, that's
sleeping
when
on the couch.
I wasn't bothered at all back
who
then.
fucking cares?
As an older guy, I like napping on the couch, but not really overnight.
How many
Right, I can
naps do
handle
you
a
take?
nap.
Do you nap a lot? Every day, do you nap?
No, I didn't nap. Like for the year, I barely napped. For this month,
Sorry.
more it seems. I don't know why. At
Big
night
proponent of
lately,
the nap. All right.
I haven't been getting effective sleep.
I watched this thing about this guy who was training to break some strength records. I don't remember, some powerlifting records. He was, I don't know, hack squats. It doesn't matter. And like his regimen included tremendous amounts of training, but even more sleep. So much excess sleep. He's like, everyone trains harder. Eventually you hit a wall. There's no more training. You're just gonna hurt yourself. You find a guy that can relax enough to sleep when he doesn't want to. A guy like us, that's a special guy. I'm like, really? Because I'm that kind of guy. I can sleep. So like I would sleep like 10 to 14 hours a day, like throughout that like workout thing, because I'd always get my 2-hour nap in the middle of the day. Because I had this idea that more sleep meant more recovery. So like maybe like I don't know, like every rep
I've
meant a
had
little more.
Bouts of depression in life. Why am I more buff? Why
Well, you
didn't I
weren't-
exit the jack?
You got to couple the sleep with the tremendous amounts of physical activity
That doesn't really tie into that depression.
and a
That part.
ridiculous diet. No, it's the best.
My diet's been good lately. I've been on point. I feel good about
What do you eat for
myself.
breakfast?
Today I had an omelet with low-fat cheese and mushrooms,
That's
but not
every
not
time?
eggs. It was like
You
egg
don't
whites.
repeat your breakfast. It's a different breakfast.
I
every
actually
time?
have 2 breakfasts that I do, and one is that egg whites into an omelet with the fuck is that green leaf? Spinach, mushrooms, and low-fat cheese. And the other is Greg Doucette has a recipe for French toast, like protein French toast. I have that a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
really fucking good.
What's
I
your
like,
lunch? Lunch and dinners are the same. Oh yeah,
Lunch is literally the
Friday?
I
same
used to do rice I
every
used to-
single day.
I used to do rice
Rice?
for breakfast every day, and
Just
God, it
rice?
was not just well, no, that was part my carb is what I was getting at. Like it's eggs for breakfast and a carb obviously, but my carb used to be rice, and that was so fucking gross. I don't know why I did never ask Derek
Why?
for a supplement. Because it's like that rice that you cooked the day before out of the fridge, and it's like stuck in a block. So you're like
Yeah.
mashing it up with a spoon
Yeah,
into your
yeah.
eggs. So rice and egg. So now I do these. I take grits, which is a southern thing. I'm sure
Mhm.
Josh probably likes grits, but I don't.
Fucking
like
love
it.
them.
And so it's grits at the bottom, and then I put like 3 or 4, depends on what I'm doing. Might be 6 eggs on top, just not sunny side up, and then like sriracha or hot sauce on top. And I love that shit.
That
Just
sounds
mush it all up.
gasoline.
And so like the runny yolk mixes in with the grits, and it's really good.
Mhm. As it's meant to be.
So
Yeah, it's really fucking good. I like that.
I'm gonna get Zach to show my lunch. I literally have the same lunch. If the month has 30 days, I probably had this 28 days of those 30. Like I don't need a lot of variety in my food. It's not something I've ever craved. But look at this. This is the ultimate lunch. Zach will pull it up in a second, I'm sure.
I also like oatmeal a lot.
Mhm.
Eat a lot of oatmeal.
Here it is. Look at this. 10 seconds of this. Don't you wish you had this for lunch every day? This shit's the bomb.
That's
Full
what
of
you eat for lunch
protein
every day.
Yeah.
every single day. I don't
Yeah,
even
that's
tell her what I
great.
want. I just say I want lunch, and she knows what it is.
It looks
Actually,
delicious.
Jackie
and, then,
makes them look pretty close to that. Like you
Yeah,
got it down.
and then what do you eat for dinner?
That varies a lot. Today was
That's anything. You're not like
well, it's
you
chicken like
make it at home?
90% of the time, some sort of chicken.
It's a lean meat every time, vegetables and I mean Woody and I are on a pretty similar thing. Like we base it on like what's right, what we consider, or like the science that I think we both consider right, what it considers to be the optimal diet, right? Those simple carbs that are quickly digested, lean proteins, you know, none of the bad cholesterol, plenty of the good cholesterol, getting some fish in your diet occasionally, stuff like that.
As close to that as I can live with happily, you know, like would black coffee be better than the almond cream I have? Yeah, but I have a hard time living with that. Go ahead.
Nah, you're good there. You're good there. Like anybody that talks shit about fucking, he adds almond cream to his coffee. It's about 10 calories tops. And he's like, hey, I'm not perfect. Yeah, you are. Like that's fine. That's fucking fine. You're not even stepping into those dairy waters, which I don't either anymore.
Well, are you trying to be at a certain amount of like calories at the end of the day?
So we're looking for calories, macros, and micronutrients in the day. So that's where my diet is. His is more macro focused and a lot easier to stick with. Mine has these little things that like, I'm not even eating this as part of my meal. I'm taking these foods as supplements, right? So the 4 ounces of cranberry juice I drink twice a day, I'm pretty sure that's about iodine. Okay, and probably I'm pretty sure it is. It's written on the paper. Derek co-signed. It was his. He says you do. I do it, so I do it. The orange juice that I mix into like my protein powder. Okay, you say to do that, I do that. There's lots of things like that that I eat as foods, but I think of more like supplements or medicine. I eat so much goddamn spinach, 10 fucking raw almonds a day. I don't like raw almonds.
Yeah.
I know people don't love fitness talk, but I can lay out my.
Why don't they like
broth
that?
do you drink?
They don't like that? I thought they do like that.
I drink
no,
bone
you're
broth
pulling my
every
leg,
day.
Charlie.
No, I swear to God, they don't like that?
Sometimes they fuss, but here's what I'm trying to get out. Go to Chronometer, record your food, weigh it. You need a food scale. It's not that big a deal. Just try it. You're going to be doing this for a month or two. You can do it forever if you want, but in a month or two, you will learn where your calories are coming from. You will learn that things you thought were good are not good. Are almonds good for you? I used to eat fucking fistfuls of almonds like they were a healthy snack and that they were protein. Do almonds have protein? Almonds are fats.
But wait,
almonds are fats. I'm still on a rant. You can go when it's your turn.
Okay, but I just you're gonna move past the almond thing. I eat a handful of nuts every day as part of the diet, and that's like basically my fat content for the day, and that's important.
Here's where I'm going with this.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you're not weighing your food, then you don't know what these almonds are doing to you. You can do what I did, which is eat like half a fucking bag of almonds, thinking that this is a healthy snack, and they're not. Are you down?
You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me. You're gonna kill me.
I am going.
I do want to interject one more time. You're right. You're right. Because I weigh the almonds and I have 70 grams. And guys, he's right. I've literally eaten. If you eat half a bag of almonds, nuts are the fattest, highest calorie thing that will shock you. Like you could do better getting chips. My bad, Woody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And weigh your food. And the process of weighing your food is not to get everything perfect. It's really about learning where your mistakes are. Do you fucked up in your head and that you think trail mix is a thing that healthy athlete hikers eat?
It's
like
trail
I was?
Mix. It's concentrated energy for athletes.
This was obvious to everybody else, but I would suggest that someone out there listening is eating tater tots thinking that they're not that bad.
They're not.
Or they're eating, maybe they're not. But fucking weigh your food, put it in Chronometer, and you will learn what you're doing right and
what's Chronometer.
It's like the cool kids
My Fitness Pal? What? Bro, I'm killing My Fitness Pal. Are you telling?
If you're killing My Fitness Pal, you're pretty 2017, my friend.
Am I? Oh shit! Wait, why Taylor better?
That's a guy who like still uses Xbox controller on PC games, kind of talk.
Wait! Don't.
Taylor also uses Xbox
with me right
now. Harley, I'm trying to get this out. So go there, weigh your food for a little month, weigh your food for a month or two, learn what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. You need to hit your protein macros. That's what he's thought. Get your caloric goals, get your protein macros. Your carbs and your fats, I think, will take care of themselves. I don't work too hard to make sure I get enough fat.
You're telling this to your audience?
I don't work too hard to get my carbs right. I make sure that my calorie and my protein is good. And then outside of that, my carbs and my fats usually land about right. It's not hard to get.
This is information for people listening.
Yeah.
You said that they don't like fitness talk, so you just fitness macro information dump them like that.
Yeah.
You don't like fitness talk, and then you yelled at them about what to eat. It's all valuable information. I totally agree with you.
I'm trying to help them in 90 seconds. Now it took 5 minutes. Why do you think that was, Harley?
We're here for 4 hours, bro. It's okay. It's okay. But I'm curious. What do you like? Yeah. I got when I first took on the last boxing match, I was 310 pounds.
Okay.
The slightest things were so good for me. When I was 310 pounds, I didn't do the macro thing. I didn't do that. And you're 100% right. And I got there after the boxing match. And now I'm 25 pounds lighter than the boxing match. I'm 60 pounds lighter. But when I was a very, very fat fuck, and I assume that the people who would benefit from everything you said, I would assume the ones that don't like the fitness talk, but still listen to everything that was useful that you said, I assume those guys, they don't need to jump in like that right away. No, wouldn't you just, what helped me was I just counted calories. I used my fitness pal like a fucking idiot, apparently. I just downloaded this app that you guys told me to, but I just counted calories. I found out that at 310 pounds, 2,900 calories was my maintenance. Mm-hmm. So I just tried to hit 2,500 calories, and I was 6'6". I was 310 pounds. And when I hit 2,500 calories, I lost a lot. I got a lot of results because I was just disgusting. And if you eat more than 2,500 calories, you're getting too crazy. I hope you're celebrating something. But
this is coming from Epic meal time.
That shit ain't making my money anymore.
Welcome to that time.
Because everything what you're saying, but what you say, everything you said is what I do now. But I just got to that, like literally, like I messaged Kyle off the podcast. Like I hit him up. I was like, yo, look what I'm going to start doing. I started to do the macro stuff, but that was like a lot. When I was very fat, I was just like the idea of hitting 200 and however many grams of protein per day was like really taxing. So I was just saying to some of the fat people out there, I didn't mean to interrupt you a million times because everything you said was useful. I'm just saying for the really fat people out there, maybe they would just count calories, right? Do you have tips for that?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're a fatty, then it's calories in, calories out.
Let me reply to that. Because he was talking. I like what you said. Really, the point of Chronometer or MyFitnessPal, if you're from 5 years ago, was to educate yourself. That's what you're getting out of it. You don't even have to change your diet in the first week. Just weigh it and know what you're doing. Know where your weak points are. And I bet you'll be like, yeah, this is my chronic go-to that's making me. I hydrate with Snapple. Yeah, you'll learn what that does to your diet.
If you ask someone how many calories, if you ask someone how many calories they eat in a day, they'll never say more 2,500 or more. They'll do that thing in their head. Oh, we're supposed to eat 2,000, right? That's what they told us. I don't know, 23, 2,400. You eat 4,600 calories a day, sir. like when you start adding it up. But yeah, this is obvious. But like, fat is the most concentrated of things per gram calorically, right? Like it's the most concentrated energy that we can get our hands on, that our bodies can process. Fat. So people that smear butter on toast and think nothing of it, like you just added like a whole soda's worth of calories with one swipe of that like butter knife, or if you're and seeds and nuts are of course incredibly, that's their purpose. Like a seed and a nut, it's like, let's concentrate as much like energy here because we're going to create a whole goddamn plant out of this tiny little thing, right? And you're just like, I can eat them by the handful.
Kyle nailed it. I used to have George Foreman chicken, mixed vegetables, and a baked potato. This would be my meal. Now, so far, I haven't said anything too horrible. Baked potato is really satiating. So if you're trying to stay in your calorie goals, it's not the lowest calorie thing, but as far as like filling you up and curing your hunger, baked potato kills it. And then I would put a pat of butter on the vegetables, a pat of butter on each side of the potato. It's glorious. It tastes great. But I didn't realize those 3 pads of butter were about equivalent to the rest of the meal combined in terms of calories.
I had no idea.
You cut out 3 pads of butter and you cut your calories in half. That butter wasn't satiating you. It wasn't preventing you from being hungry at midnight. All it did was make your food taste better.
2 milk, 2 sugar in a coffee, and have 2 coffees a day. 2 cream, 2 sugar, and 2 coffees will fuck your shit up. Each one of those is almost a Big Mac in terms of like calories, fat content. God. Yeah. Literally, like if you get a 2 cream, 2 sugar, at any coffee place, like a Dunkin' Donuts and a large coffee, and you have 2 coffees, you're fucking your whole day up. You fucked up the whole day. You threw it away on coffees. And I got to say this, you want to be awake. I love coffee. If you want to be awake, I can't say this enough. Like as a person who is very fat and lost a whole bunch, those are the little decisions. Exactly what he said. The butter is such a big decision and it's a waste. Having 2 creams, 2 sugars in your coffee, drink it black. Literally drink it black. And changing to black coffee is like, I love black coffee now. I enjoy black coffee, or what you said, you put a little bit of almond cream in there, right?
Almond cream and stevia.
But you're an active person, right?
I do my best.
But you do things, right?
Yeah, I do things.
Like, do you work out?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, people that listen, like, he does put a cream in his coffee, but, like, he also is active. Like, if you're not being active, like, when I first started the boxing thing, like, I started the diet first. I started counting calories first. I cut the things that didn't need to exist. And when I started putting it into MyFitnessPal, like a fucking idiot from the past, I learned that I tripled down on my fuck ups. And I know there's people who are fat at heart motherfuckers just like me listening. The tripling down on the fuck up is when it was like, sometimes people are like, let's get a hot dog. Let's have a treat today. I was like, cool. So I would go and I would get a hot dog and a hamburger. And the French fries, I would turn to a poutine or a chili cheese fries. So it was a triple fuck up. And then I would be like, well, since I fucked up today, I want something sweet, ice cream. And then I get home, I get high, and I'm like, crack open the gummies. And I snack on some gummies. This whole day, I've realized, is exactly what Kyle was talking about, a 4,500 calorie day at least. I've had like 3,000 grams of carbs, and I didn't do jack shit. I didn't go for a walk. I didn't go to the gym. And as a fat dude, it's so funny. If you're a dude and you're fat, you can get the results quickly if you count your calories and you go and just fucking walk. Honestly,
the thing I want to remind, like, usually when you're good, and I bet you'll agree with this, Harley, you're not very, very good. Like, so your targets, you don't want to exceed 2,500, for example, right? Now you're at 2,400. That's a good day. That's a win. You're in a deficit. You're going to trend in the right direction. You are one fucking Nature's Valley granola bar away from disaster. You make that decision on a daily basis. You are one coffee with real cream and sugar away from being on the wrong side of your, caloric goal. And just don't fuck up. Don't have that one last thing.
I've fucked up and I've skipped a meal the next day, or I've altered the meal to an extent. Like, it was like my mom's 70th birthday, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be a fucking weirdo. So I just really ate small on the way, and then at dinner, I did dinner. I enjoyed it. I wasn't like, oh, I don't know. I fully did it. And then the next day, I also kind of picked up the pieces from the fuck up. Sometimes, like, when a fuck up happens, I'm like, okay, this will be like a 3-day journey. This you still want to live, right?
The term that I use, the phrasing of it is like, you don't let one loss turn you into a loser, right? Every fucking basketball champion in the world lost 15 games that year, roughly. And like, you can lose. You can have a day in which you gained weight. That doesn't mean your whole trend is going in the wrong direction. You can still be a winner even if you lost a game.
And
I was going to ask you what the relevance of weighing the nuts was. What exactly did you mean? Do they weigh a lot more than you realize or something?
No, it's like know how many you're going to eat. How many grams of nuts
you only
eat
eat 70 grams of nuts or whatever.
The impact. Yeah, I used to think
I didn't know they were high.
70 grams would be a lot of nuts.
Dude, they're so high in fat and such high calorie, and you can eat I could eat a whole thing of fucking peanuts. Peanuts, the worst ones. And they're not even a nut. That's a legume.
I would take like a bowl of nuts to bed and eat while I watch TV, not realizing that's like
900 calories.
100 calories or something outrageous,
and like a crazy amount of fat. And a crazy
that's why they're so filling. Because I've always been told that one way to cut back on food is eat a small handful of nuts, like 20 minutes before you eat some peanuts or some cashews or something, and then it'll be really
water.
Cool.
For the fatties listening and hear that, I'd say like drink water. But you look like a guy that's
never going to be fat.
Yes.
I don't struggle with it. I've already lost weight since last time I was on the podcast. And I just went to one soda a day and I lost weight.
Enjoy your Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper in my face.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Have you guys ever had hot Dr. Pepper?
No.
Barbecue water?
Like hot Dr. Pepper in the 50s and 60s was apparently a seasonal beverage. The way that
is this a spicy Dr. Pepper
hot,
or warm
Dr. Dr. Pepper is spicy. If you get my drift, you just warm it up and you serve it in a mug. Dr. Pepper.
Wow.
And it's weird. I read that on Reddit the other day, and I was like, yeah, I've seen that once. ever in media, and it was from a Brendan Fraser movie called Blast from the Past, where he's been in the bomb shelter his whole life because they thought that Cold War nukes had went off, and he like pops up in the 90s and like.
But he's from the 50s
but I
or
remember,
whatever.
But I remember his dad was drinking that hot Dr. Pepper back then, and yeah.
That's fascinating. I got to look into hot Dr. Pepper.
I want a hot.
I hate it at room temperature, but I'd try it hot.
Yeah,
I don't.
I love Dr. Pepper. I consume like those 0-calorie sodas. I still cut them back, and I know it's doing some fucked up stuff. Kyle, you're a bit more dialed in than I would be, but like I feel like like if you were ever trying to get to like a crazy low amount of body fat, I guess maybe people in competition. Oh, there we go.
Coke Zero, is that what I'm looking at?
Yeah, no, just some people that are like, like I guess a week's out from a competition or something, they would cut the 0-calorie soda. But I get that Walden Farm stuff, all the 0-calorie sauces. I get my boy G what's his name? G Hughes. 0-calorie barbecue sauce, great. And they're all phenomenal. They're really
Maple
good.
Farms and G Hughes and that stuff is great.
Yeah, and that's good.
I mostly drank, weirdly enough, unsweet tea throughout the whole thing. Like
I like
the stuff that Wings love so much, minus the sugar. like
just cold tea.
Whenever you would see me with that rattly thermos, it was full of tea with ice. Iced, unsweet, artificially sweetened with like a scoop of Splenda or something tea. And because I wanted to drink gallons, plural, a day, and I couldn't do water that much. Water's just gross. Like it doesn't taste like anything. Drink 2 gallons of it. All right. Like see how it tastes when you start gallon number 2, let me know how it's tasted.
I can't finish gallon number 1. That's excessive.
Wait,
give me a couple days.
You got cardio accounted for like most of it.
Here's the macros on a day. What do you think about this, guys? My protein 210 grams, carbs 175 grams, and fat 65 grams.
Doesn't matter. Sounds good.
That's a lot.
All I heard is protein 210. That's a lot, but you're big, so it sounds rightish. The other 2 I don't care about.
Fat, yeah. Well, yeah. So, and that's 2,000 calories.
2,000. That seems lowish, unless you're trying to lose weight fast. For a guy your size,
I'm trying to lose weight. Like I'm trying to drop. Definitely. And
are you doing what kind of cardio are you doing? I
do boxing. And on my rest days, I go on my bike in my garage and I bike it for 50 minutes. Like,
how many steps do you do outside of your actual workouts?
Oh, like 10,000, 9,000.
It's
tough to say. It's tough to say.
So it sounds like you're probably dropping several pounds a week right now, like 3 or 4 pounds a week.
3 on average.
Yeah,
3 on average.
Damn, man.
And you know what? Being a big guy, like to the people listening, like that happens very quickly.
Yeah, you're dialed in. That's what you're. That's perfect. Yeah.
That's good. I don't know.
Wait, you don't need any tips. You're clearly working with somebody who knows what they're doing. I think you're just
I do. Yeah, I do.
You're coming here like, hey guys, you got any tips? I got this perfect diet. It's kind of dialed in. I dropped 3 pounds a week.
No, have you noticed how strong and lean I am? Any tips for me?
That's because I'm like a month into this like 16-week thing, but I was just like, sure,
asking for beard growing. Hey guys, how can I make my mustache a little thicker? Do you eat it? You got any tips for me?
Asking the wrong motherfucker.
I wanted to show and tell our diets because, like, for me, eating lunch, it's like I don't eat beef anymore. I haven't had beef in a long time.
If you want. I'm real proud of mine because mine is something Derek put together and spent like days and days like making for me. When I asked for a diet, I thought he was going to copy paste something, and he asked me a bunch of questions and then didn't get back to me for like I was like, hey, about that diet. He's like, I'm working on it, and like days went by and he gave it to me. So I'm real happy with the one I've got.
You know who wrote my diet is actually a YouTuber that I watch a ton of Derek. Yeah. It was a YouTuber that I watched before that, even like kind of in the early fitness culture days when I was like kind of fit for myself, like 6 years ago. I was watching this guy, Louis Marco. And he used to he made like funny videos, informational videos. He would share videos. But yeah, he wrote me up a program and like I hit him up every week. I send him my weight and pictures and he adjusts things along the way. The diet is different now from what it was. But it's like, yeah, I eat bison broth. And like I said to you, Woody, before, like people are just like, oh, you eat like what Woody eats. Minus chicken, though. I hate fucking chicken.
Yeah, we'll keep the chicken out of it.
I hate it. How come you eat it all the time?
Dude, I eat chicken like if you add turkey, I probably eat chicken or turkey 360 days a year.
Yeah,
That's
Like,
crazy.
Yeah.
And what you, Kyle? You just eat beef, or
it's almost all bison when I'm dialed
too.
100% in. It's the vertical diet with a couple of things. I refuse to eat the goddamn carrots. I'm sorry, Derek. I won't eat them. I won't eat your fucking. I hate. It's like a handful of raw carrots every day, and I just remember like it's 4 a.m. at the beginning of the workout process. It's 4 a.m. I feel like shit, and I just have powered through some cold rice with my runny eggs. So I'm this close to vomiting. I'm this close to vomiting, and I'm in there like drinking my cold bone broth. Now I'm this close to vomiting. And
what's
and
the
then
bone broth for?
Collagen, I think. Pretty sure it's collagen. I also use a collagen protein powder when I'm again like being. See, the thing is, a lot of the stuff that I do and like to do is excessive. It's about like squeezing another percentage out. If you watch Star Trek, we can get a little nerdy here. Geordi LaForge, he's the engineer, and he's just like, I made the warp conduits 0.001% more efficient. But he does that every episode. So after years of doing that, the Enterprise is just slick and fast and efficient. Because every day Geordi LaForge has been in there squeezing that little half of a percentage out of those engines, those warp coils, those fucking made up whoozy whatsits. And I like that. I like that if you're relentlessly Spartan like that, then like that bitch in your blood, that part of you that wants to cheat, like he doesn't even have any ground to stand on. You don't even like give him a microphone. That guy who would talk about donuts. It's like, motherfucker, I don't even know what flour looks like anymore. Like, I let him know, like I eat my shit raw now. I killed this buffalo. Like when you get to that level, like that bitchy guy who wants to eat gummy bears and fucking go to Dairy Queen, like he doesn't even open his mouth anymore because he knows what's coming. Because you're so hard. Dude, I took an ice bath last night. You think I'm going to eat a fucking gummy bear? It's not, you're not going to do it.
Even during my cut, though, I didn't go to that level. And I don't think I was at the level Harley is now. It was more like, oh, I want a sustainable lifestyle change. Something
Nothing I'm talking about is required.
I like hit him up and I was like, hey, this YouTuber friend of mine, he had this crazy transformation. And I want some of that. I want to touch that. No, I actually I hit him up. He always uploads these great transformations, and Kyle was absolutely inspiring also doing it. And then you as well over time, I'd be like, no, it's true. You started exercising and eating well, and I just felt like everyone around me was doing it, and I was kind of falling apart. And that's why I took the boxing match. I was like, oh, I need to fight someone, so the threat of getting slapped up will whip me into shape. And it did, but after the boxing match, I was kind of like not doing anything. I was just maintaining. I was boxing a little bit, and I got like I went out and I got like super fucked up. Like tried 2 brand new drugs, which is like a crazy thing to do at 37. And a lot of people don't like fucking with drugs now, but like I'm like really happy with life and nothing's going on. So when like a bad trip happens, I'm like, let me figure this out. And I just at that time was like, you know what, like this was fun. Cutting loose and doing whatever, but I'm gonna kind of take on a project. So I hit up this guy that I really enjoy watching his videos, and he wrote me a program, and it's just like I imagine it can't be like that far off like from what like Kyle was doing. Yeah, so I guess I just gotta hook up the testosterone at this point and whatever else, you know what I mean? But I just I wanted to start doing something for myself, like making changes, but I had a long way to go.
I think it's important to put into perspective like what each of these things we're talking about, how they weigh against each other, because we're talking about them all like they're equal, right? Like make sure you don't eat peanuts. That's equally as important as maybe like walking 10,000 steps a day. What's really important is consistency, but you don't have to do most of that stuff. I'll say this, like you could add some testosterone, like everything is easier, and I don't just mean a little bit. Like it's a lot easier. Like it's a lot easier. Like that would be my first recommendation. It's if you were gonna do one thing, it would be testosterone, because you could eat like shit. Because people, if you start taking the testosterone and do nothing else, you will get leaner and stronger in 6 months.
Everyone says you won't. You think you will?
I saw that study. Is that bullshit? Of the one with lean muscle mass gained from untrained individuals versus training individuals, and then the one they had 3 study groups: one that was training on sauce, one training not on sauce, and one laying there doing nothing on sauce. And the people on sauce beat the untrained people who
were trying.
Beat the people trying without sauce. Like it was so close. It was like so
you might be right. I'm going by like what YouTubers
and watch Seinfeld
say,
or go work out. Or do both at the same fucking time and be a god.
Look like an Adonis. Hell yeah.
I mean, every one of your action star superhero motherfuckers on a screen that looks good, magazine cover people, anybody on a bottle
your gym,
of something.
in your gym, even in your gym, if you think that guy is a phenomenal body at your gym, he probably is too.
We're all juicing, bro. Get on board. It makes you healthy. It's not like you have to do some Arnold Schwarzenegger crazy shit that's gonna damage you. Like
when I started boxing though and working out, like I was just so bitch made before that I felt like I was higher testosterone when I started doing higher T activities. Like I just wasn't doing anything. So that just happened anyways. And I never felt like, I felt like if I'm going to like hit it into overdrive, like let me hit NOS once I get to my natural max speed.
Sure.
Once I'm at max
speed,
speed, then I'll hit the NOS. Yeah.
When you first started boxing, were you surprised at how bad your cardio was?
Yeah. Shocked at everything. Everything. I was bad punching. I was shocked at how weak so many different styles of punching I was at, which still occurs. Like there's a lot of weakness in boxing, and I see that all the time.
I have a quick little thing about like, so I hear a lot of people say that you should wait and you should be like well trained and fit and already have your diet and your workout all under your belt before you start any sort of like performance enhancing stuff. First of all, if it's TRT, you should start immediately because just get your testosterone levels like good, it's healthy. But all that aside, oh shit, don't lose the thought. Fuck, I lost it.
Not just testosterone.
Wait, hitting NOS
Kyle,
max.
It was about using T when you've achieved your maximum nat potential first.
I know a guy who was out of shape, not doing anything, and he went right into the T on my recommendation, mind you. Let me tell you what this man has done since then. He was working as a lowly clerk. I won't be too specific, but he had a lady boss always breathing down his neck. He had another cute employee he was too afraid to go after, okay? This is a wage slave getting stepped on every day by the matriarchy, can't step up, borderline incel with this girl that he works with. He starts pumping iron, taking tea, grows himself a 6 stash, okay? You know what happens one day when the boss starts running her mouth at him, giving him a hard time? Pow! Right in the kisser. Punched this lady. He punched her the fuck out with his big, muscly testosterone arms. The girl and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm out of here." And the girl sees this and it's like, "I'm going with him. I'm going with him." She goes with him and starts dating him because she's found a real man, one that won't take any shit lying down anymore. Now he's at a new place, has the same job as the woman he punched out. She came to him the other day looking for work at his place.
All started with testosterone.
Move along. He's moved up in every conceivable way. Oh, and he's a big boy. He looks scary. He looks like, I don't know, like one of the bad guys in a video game. Like not the main bad guy, but like one of his minions.
One of the thugs, yeah.
You take him out like level 2.
Exactly. I think this guy is advanced. I think he can beat up more than just Karens now. He can beat up small men.
Oh, he can take a small man, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Unlocking his final form.
I love his rags to riches story. Like first he beat up a woman who was kind of annoying.
This woman
the patriarchy holding us down.
She's
over here taking money out of the register and she confronts him about it.
That's probably
what do you mean, bitch? Come on, lady. We're out of here. Testosterone, bitch.
All right, Josh, what did you eat today?
Man, I've had one thing and it was a fajita wrap. It was chicken bacon ranch fajitas.
From where?
So,
you made it yourself?
My wife did, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Grilled chicken and
to eat so far today.
Bell peppers. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't eat breakfast, man. I'm for some reason really nauseated in the mornings. It's been like that for like 10 years now. I don't get hungry for like 3 hours after I wake up, unless I smoke some weed. I
had a long time in my life where I felt the exact same way. I'd wake up and I'd be like, "Fuck anything for breakfast."
Yeah, I don't want to smell it.
And the better the breakfast, I was like worse.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if it's tastier, I'm like worse.
The basil and shit. No, hell no, man. Get that away from me.
I cannot agree.
Typically, I'm different now. I love breakfast, but I did feel that way. Like Oh yeah.
I wish I was eating at 10 p.m. I wish I was eating at midnight, but I discipline myself away from it. When morning rolls around, get that breakfast on the table, woman.
That would probably help.
I haven't eaten for 12 hours.
That would probably help me a lot, though. I snack a lot, man. I get the munchies at 11:30 at night, and I'm like, I'm getting some Pop-Tarts, bro. Fuck it. You know, it's 11:30 at night. I'm not about to go in there and make a sandwich, so I eat some Pop-Tarts.
Who makes good diet decisions at 11 o'clock at night?
I shouldn't make any diet decisions at that time of night, like you just said.
I'm curious, though. I was like, I don't know. This is technically kind of like rude or personal because, like, it's not, front facing like it is with Kyle and Woody. But, like, is there a goal or anything you aspire or even casually think about, like, with your body or, like, anything? Like, is there anything about it? Like, do you, like, I don't know, anything from flexing and before you go in the shower and be like, I'm fucking ripped, or like, I still look young, or I should have bigger muscles, or I'm like, is there anything? I'm just completely
not
curious
anymore.
About...
My main goal at this point, man, is honestly, I know I'm not in great shape. I've been streaming on Twitch for 2.5 years. I don't have a very active life. I mostly just chase my daughter around, and that's about the most exercise I get.
But you're not fat.
No,
like, look at this jaw you got.
This was sitting on my desk, yes, and I don't know if it'll go in focus.
God.
I was a lot heavier. Yeah, you got one of these.
Oh man, mine's in my car. It's all.
It's blurred, but
that's not even. It doesn't look that bad though. It doesn't look like it's heavier for sure.
Well, that's after 17 months. I wasn't just fat. I was working out in county jail for 17 months because I was like, oh shit, I'm going to prison.
You were in county for 17 months?
Yeah, awaiting trial.
Well, I'm sure you've told me that before. Why didn't they let you out? What was the circumstance that prevented you from, like, getting out on bond?
Yeah, the judge said that it was a wobbler. She said some judges consider the threat a violent crime. Some consider it not to be a violent crime. She said in her opinion, it was not a violent crime, but without me having been arrested only like 2 days at that point, she said, I don't know enough about you. So without a mental evaluation, I can't just let you go.
You should have spoke up, my friend. That was your time to pull one. Your Honor, could I say a few words?
Man, I wish I would have. That was my first run in with the
just
fact
how
that
goddamn trustworthy.
How old are you at this point? 19? You're 19
I was 19
at that point?
then.
Yeah, 19 years old. Like, I was long.
I was in there
at
smirking
19.
at him the whole time.
I was long R at 19.
Yeah, but
dude,
you go to jail.
like,
hang on, you'll be short R. You go to jail at 19, so you better get your shit in order.
Yeah, you need to short. You need to lengthen the R out here and keep quiet in there.
Figure it out.
That was my first foray into prosecutors talking like emo kid journals. He was talking about how he doesn't have a crystal ball. All I'm saying is that this man threatened to annihilate and decimate children's lives. He may have been joking, but I don't have a crystal ball. I was just sitting there smirking because I was 19 and I was an idiot. And I was like, y'all are old. That's pretty much my main response to it. But I didn't get bond for it, man. So I ended up 17 months. Yeah, I'll prove I won't kill anybody. Just let me go. Look, you'll see. But I ended up, being denied bail. She said, she almost put a stipulation, bro. She almost said, pending a mental evaluation, I'll let you go. And then she ended up saying, never mind. And I had 2 mental evaluations that were great. I could have made bail. Yeah. Later on, I got sentenced to 6 years. And I was very, very glad that I never made bail because I already had that 1.5 years under my belt. I was like, okay, quarter of the way done already.
Yeah, that county jail thing is awful.
Terrible. That's why I was working out, man. It's mostly out of boredom. There was one TV in the room.
At least you had a place where you could work out. At the county jail, I was only there for 2 or 3 days, but like, there's no working out there. They let you into a room with a basketball hoop in it for 30 minutes a day, I think. Maybe.
Oh, you're talking about it, like. Right.
Yeah, like that was it. Like the pod.
We worked out on the block. We had bags full of water bottles.
The pod is locked down. There's a TV. There's a water cooler.
Oh, you didn't get to come out of your cell and stuff like that freely. I got you.
No cells. No cells. It's a pod. It's like that shit from 60 Days In where you see like open air everything, but fucking bunk beds, and you're just in a lockdown pod. And
yeah, this is what this was.
I can't believe you guys experienced that.
The room was big enough to work out.
Really like a next level experience, not the experience you probably ever think of ever having when you begin your life and start to understand the concepts of prison and all that. Like it really is like really wild.
It was a shocker.
Like I was appreciating it every moment of it. Like I was taking it in every step of the way, thinking like, I know I'm not supposed to be here, and this whole thing is wild. I bet one day this will be thought of as silly.
But imagine you were 10 years younger.
But there's no need in saying that here. So let's just take it in and enjoy our time. Like every step of the way, it was like, cool. You're gonna shackle me up, huh? Oh, I'm gonna bounce away. I'm out. Like
wouldn't want the weed
guy to run off.
I'm
Andy Dufresne.
You just have to laugh about it because like when the prison guard's like, hey, Kyle, what are you doing in here?
Yeah.
You're like,
I told you the first time I was on the show, I think I told you we talked about you at Talladega, not knowing that 2 years later you'd be right there next door.
Yeah,
We were like, man, you remember FPS Russia's videos? And I was like, yeah, that crazy Russian guy. I know he was Russian because you don't have guns like that in America. I was wrong. I met Kyle and he's not Russian.
There you go. Yeah, Talladega was a blast.
Yeah, great memories there.
I went into a sex store today. Doesn't sound relevant, but it is. And I went into a sex store.
No, I'm in.
And grabbed a couple stuff, and this little Chinese woman came out, and she was like, "Oh, okay, you getting this?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was just like, she was like, "Are you paying cash?" And I said, "Oh, I didn't know it was a Chinese person that owns this place. Because if I knew that, I would have brought cash. Because Jews know that if Chinese person owns it, and Chinese people know that if a Jew pulls up, it's like, hey, pay cash, you don't pay taxes.
Mutual.
I don't do that. Why would I do that? That's a bit. It's a joke. But let's just say it. Okay, this is a bit.
This happens in
But
Minecraft.
so if you roll up on like a Chinese business, as a Jew, you offer the cash first. Usually don't pay the taxes. So she was like, "Oh, do you have cash?" I was like, "I didn't know." I'm like, "My bad. I'm Jewish. And as per the New World Order secret agreement between the Jews and the Chinese, I know that we're not going to pay this government right now. So if I knew that it was you, I would have brought cash,
Harley,
but I didn't know."
You're really
Wait, she goes, "You're Jewish?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "You're so big." Jewish people are never this big. And I was like, "You're a Chinese woman and you own the sex store." And she's like, "No Chinese women only own sex stores." She's like, "Only me. I'm a crazy Chinese woman."
Y'all the outliers.
All this is like in like, English is her third language thing.
Yeah.
But
And you're like, "Yeah, and I'm a giant Jew. What of it? Give me that dildo."
how did you know?
Not paying tax on that fucking
You know what I
dildo.
thought
Are
you were going to
crazy?
say? I didn't think it was going to be taxes. I thought there was going to be some bargaining to be done. I thought you were going to like whittle her down for that pocket pussy.
You ain't ever gonna bargain. You ain't ever gonna bargain with the Chinese person.
Notice I didn't take the low hanging fruit and say Jew her down for the.
Hey,
Went
Hello,
right back
the
to it,
bank?
and I get double
the
credit.
bank, him right there.
Yeah, that's him. That's the one.
I wonder which banks are. Never mind.
I don't get it. You make your own bank then.
Harley, you saw Game of
Make your own
Thrones,
bank.
right?
Start your own TV channel. What do you want?
You're in Game of Thrones. There's a boxing match, and you need to pick a YouTuber to be your champion to prove your innocence for whatever you've done.
Oh,
Who you picking?
To fight
Who's your
for me?
champion? Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect.
Woody's like, damn, you took mine.
He's not. Do you think he's obviously the Paul brothers are the top of my heap, but they're almost boxers.
No, when I wanted to,
yeah.
can I have
Daniel
box
Cormier?
Dr.
He's a YouTuber.
Disrespect? I thought box Dr. Disrespect would beat me. I didn't think that I really had what it took to do that, and I wanted
What
to
do you
really
think
set
now?
the bar very high. What do I think now? I think that if I took a boxing match now, I want it to be against an athlete. I want them to be a heavyweight athlete. I want to
You're
get
not
in that
pub
ring.
stomping anymore.
I want to get fucked up in that ring. I saw like Aaron from Game Grumps. I'm pretty sure he's in a box again. Like he went in, like he lost, and he's ready to go back. And I think that's fucking cool. You lose the match, you go back in the ring. Like that's really cool. There was this guy, I think his name is Halal Ham. He boxed Salt Pappy, who's one of the best boxers in YouTube boxing. And because he's actually like, he just moves and fights like an actual boxer. He got fucked up by Salt Pappy, but he boxed again. And I think that was cool.
You know
thought
who
that
I
was
like?
really cool.
Is it Dr. Mike? Do I have his name right? He's
Yeah.
the actual doctor, makes a lot of videos about sports injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I just in my mind, he got outside of his comfort zone a little more than other people did. Like and he's I don't know how to describe the guy's classy. He's an actual doctor.
He went out of his comfort zone.
Yeah, I just
Why did he go to Rhode Island and box a monster of a man next to a dumpster for weeks?
he lost.
Oh
his,
no, that was me. I got out of my comfort zone
no,
I met
next
Sam
to
Hyde in
dumpsters
the
is
middle of the night.
literally
and I gave him the keys to my life. I
fighting
was
next
out
to
of my comfort
dumpsters
zone.
is your Tuesday, Harley. This is nothing
Fishing through the dumpsters is my Tuesday.
to Oh, Zach said that the doctor's a pro fighter.
No, he's not a pro fighter, but he's been boxing.
I have a new topic.
Go ahead, Kyle.
So my friend, I'm gonna call you now, buddy. Who's going over to Ukraine to like fly the drones and train the people how to fly them? He said, I don't want to read everything he said here out loud, I guess, but he said,
"Your dick was so tasty last night."
If
and
any of
another
us,
thing.
if any of us would like to tag along on one of these trips, they're 3 to 4 weeks at a time. You can choose your level of acceptance of danger. They're extremely nice hotels, great food. You can shoot machine guns, and you'd be surprised about how awesome it is here. I know for a fact. Okay, and then that's some more stuff that doesn't need to be public. Yeah. So I think he's saying that like we could tag along on some sort of a quasi-military-esque trip to the safe zone of Ukraine, and if we wish to, there would be a day when it's like, hey, do you want to go out into that place where it's not so safe? And that would be an option too. And I'm pretty sure they'd give us guns.
So you're telling me
FPS
you
Ukraine
guys
rises.
can't make it to Taylor's wedding, but you're gonna go to Ukraine? Is that what you're telling me right now? You couldn't come to my boxing match where I got you tickets and seats, but you're gonna go to Ukraine?
Yeah. Who's the main character here? Right? Suddenly Harley's making this about him.
It's just a war over me. Over Taylor, us. We're the same. I've
never been to Ukraine.
I've been to weddings before, Harley.
He said I'm Taylor.
Weddings fucking suck. Oh, you have barbecue? I can get barbecue here, Taylor. I don't
barbecued
care.
human in Ukraine.
No, I don't go to weddings. I think they're foolish. Okay, everyone knows this. I don't push my religious beliefs on you. Don't try to push your shit on me. So I don't go to weddings.
Paste the message, Kyle. Is it so private you don't want to show us?
Oh, no. I guess I'll write all this here. It's just mostly it's either something that would be lame to say because it's like him being nice to me, or it's like some. Here, I'll put it here. I don't give a shit. I mean, just don't show it.
No, I wasn't going to.
Anyway, that sounds kind of fascinating. I did send him a message back, and I was like, I doubt they'll take felons.
This is a very anti-Semitic and gay message, by the way. So I see why you didn't want to share it.
It'd be all for moot. But no, if it was I'll tell you this. Here's what I will say. If I had that,
Are you endorsing these views, Kyle? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, 100%. I stand by every bit of that. Honestly, I wrote it all. That's my username. No, I think that if this was like when I was in the middle of making YouTube videos, I would absolutely go there.
Exactly what I was thinking.
But I also think that maybe that's like a super scummy thing to do, right? Like how far is that away from that time that Logan Paul was in a Japanese suicide forest?
I feel like I'm walking through your mind the same time as you.
It's a weird road to hoe if you.
It's a scummy thing to do a little war tourism.
Yeah, that's
a weird word.
It's not war tourism. It's war profiteering. Because I'd be there filming videos and getting AdSense, like the only way to even make that not scumbag is to like donate all the money. So really, it's kind of a unless you're like reporting there, but if you're going there to make fucking content because of the easy access to weaponry in a place that's being besieged, that's super scummy. So
okay, first off, I object to the way you're judging me. All right.
Yeah, it would be like a form of war tourism / profiteering in the case of a YouTuber or something.
What if it's on my bucket list? Does that make it better?
Which part's on your bucket list? To make the videos?
I want to see some dead people, and
this is war tourism. It's an actual term. What he's describing.
Take your camera and it's journalism.
Yeah,
I accept your terms.
It's only prostitution if you don't film it.
Wait. Maybe I'll get to kill someone. Can I operate the drone?
No, bitch. You're not fucking drone.
He'll take the drone close to someone, but I get to press the deploy button on the grenade.
You joke around. Woody, you joke.
You could do that from home. You could drone strike from home. You don't need to go there to do that.
Woody, I am 75% sure that could be arranged, that you could tag along and that someone would fly it in and they'd be like, quick, Woody, press the button, and you could push the button. I'm 75% sure that could be arranged.
You don't want to murder. You don't want to kill or.
Don't you tell me what I want. Do I judge what your wants are? Did I judge your sex store acquisitions? No.
No.
Okay. Okay.
You're over there talking about bargaining with the Chinese to avoid American taxes. With
No, I said you never bargain with the Chinese. I said never bargain with the Chinese. That's not what I said. I said never bargain with them.
Conspiring with the Chinese.
Yes, that is allowed.
How much tax is there on a $50 dildo anyway? Like we're the whole thing was insane, and we were
Where are you getting your
$4.
dildos for
So don't-
50?
No,
don't hate on Woody when he wants to blow up some Ruskies. Okay,
Yeah. They're not even real people. They're Russian. They got their
It's,
alphabet.
I've heard them called orcs.
It's $7.50 on a $50 dildo where I'm from. It's 15%.
I mean, I
So
don't
now talk
cash.
to me. 15%. You want to fucking talk to the Chinese?
Why
I
don't
think
you
you
do?
know.
Get
The
down to
teeth.
70.
The teeth are like, it was something that I looked into, and then like once I looked into that, like I looked into like a lot of things like that. Like, you know, I mean, you're like on camera, you look at like all the guys that do the things like people like that get hair transplants and stuff. Like I'm obsessed with hair transplants. I don't need a hair transplant, but I've always loved hair transplant content. Like Fuzi got rid of it, but he had this video where he went and, like, it was not a hair transplant, but he tattooed hair on his head.
Yeah.
And it was like such a crazy wild video.
That's an interesting look.
Oh, it's one of the, he doesn't have it up anymore, and you could probably find a re-upload of it, but like Fuzi getting the head tattoo is just like a peak time in YouTube for me personally. I mean, shout out to him. I don't know if that was a rough time for him. I think it was, but regardless, he did that. And then he got the head tattoo removed like 2 episodes later. And I was like, his vlogs are next level. But I looked into the male liposuction thing, because like when I was looking into it, I'm like, oh, there's extra fat here on the sides. For the price of Invisalign or a sex doll, a custom sex doll, I was like, yeah, you could do something like this. And I was looking into it, and I got a consultation because I had like a friend, and he was like, how much do you weigh? And at the time I was like 270, and he was like, oh, you got to be like much lower before. He's like, take your shirt off. I took my shirt off, and he was like, oh, he's like, your body looks different for a guy who's 270. I thought you would be like flabby or more, but my skin is kind of elasticy. It's not like, but whatever, regardless, I looked into it. He was just like, yeah, it's really hard to lose that part.
Yep.
Like, it's just really hard.
It's the last bit of fat I lose.
Exactly. But you felt that way also. Like, and I saw like your bigger pictures, your before pictures, but I don't think your sides like hit quite like mine did, you know? They were there, but they weren't like mine were just like really next level. And I was like, anyways, the reason I brought it up, because I asked him, I was like, so like, do you get like a lot of dudes? He was like, so many. He was like, over 50% of the operations that I do are the like male liposuction on their love handles. And I thought that was really fascinating.
Interesting.
Because people don't talk about their hair implants when these famous people clearly have hair implants. They don't talk about steroid use when they're clearly on fucking a ton of juice. There's no way they're going to ever say if they got liposuction on their fucking love handles, they would never bring that up in a million years. But it was just interesting hearing him say that. And then again, the guy's trying to sell it, and he was like, everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. But I kind of believe that, because here I am, a guy, and I was reading about it, and I'm getting a consultation. Like, and who am I, you know, like.
No, it's frustrating when like you have a 6-pack, or you can see abs, but there's still like, God damn it, this tight shirt makes me look like I have fucking love handles. I do have love handles. Fuck. How much broccoli must I eat?
Body dysmorphia too, though, is very real, right? Like you must have
say that. What's
moments,
very real?
body dysmorphia.
Oh,
you never have that, because I get that a lot. I get that, like I do a thing and I'm kind of having good results, and then I'm like, I'm weak.
I want to answer.
I look bad.
I am sometimes accused of having body dysmorphia. I disagree. I think I know exactly what I look like, what my pros and cons are. Like a person who spends 5 to 6 hours a week on camera would. I think I just have higher standards. People are like, oh, Woody, you've got abs. You look great. I'm like, I have 4, and then almost maybe those lower 2.
Yeah, get away from me, fatty.
I want the people who hate me to be like, well, I mean, obviously there's 6 there. You know, like I can't deny it. It's clearly a ripped 6-pack. That's what I'm going for.
You know what you got to do?
Suffer more.
Yeah. But what you need is an operation to remove some loose skin. Lock you into this new tight bod, right?
You probably so.
Oh,
I have an
yeah.
answer for that too. So my wife just had cosmetic surgery. She had her eyes done and also fat grafting. As you age,
how'd the eyes turn out? Sorry to interrupt. I'm curious.
amazing. She looks
She's
great.
4 now.
Good.
No, they look really good. I didn't even think her eyes needed to be done. It wasn't a thing that I focused on. And she also had fat grafting, and this is the relevant part. As you age, you can like lose the fat under your chin bones, and it creates sort of a sunken in older look.
Mhm.
And the fat that's under your eyes kind of lowers. So they like remove that fat, put the pads back up where they need to go, and they injected fat under her cheeks, and it just gives a younger look. The thing is, it came from her like love handles, and it was a quarter pound. That's what they took. Maybe a quarter pound per side, but work with me. Not a lot. It has been the hardest part of her recovery. It's the only part 2.5 weeks out that she's still recovering from.
I bet.
It is, and by the way, we're talking about half a pound.
You talking about the love handle?
Yeah.
The
It is-
lipo.
Like the
The
healing from
lipo-
that area?
So the donut
Traumatic.
part was her love handles, and then they take more than they need so they can put it in the face and throw away the extra.
What did they use to do it? What
I'm
was
pretty
the
sure it was
method
like
of-
a bubble tea straw type thing that
Yeah.
sucks, and they're just
Like a trocar at the dentist
Well,
office.
see, yeah,
it-
what this
I
guy
don't
was
know.
going to do was he was going to put like a pin hole in you, and this is like pretty advanced, and he's got this really intense machine that would turn the fat, but this is different because they're trying to take that fat out and use it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in this case, he's trying to remove it. So what he would do is he had this thing that like vibrated at a speed. It turned your fat from like butter into queso, and then he pulled it out, and a different device pulled the queso out. And he said he could pull out like about a can of soda on each side per average when he's doing this with people.
Weird.
About a can of soda of fat on the
Fat.
sides.
The point I'm trying to
But
lay
then
out
again,
is
in your
this.
case,
The
they're
point I'm trying to lay
reusing it.
out is that it is much less painful to just do a caloric deficit for 3 weeks than it is to come back from lipo for 9 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
What is the recovery? Like, is it very badly bruised and it hurts her to move?
it's sensitive to the touch, and it's sensitive to certain movements. She'll twist or something, and just like a broken rib almost.
And
like
you're
it
talking
hurts.
about minor lipo in a very contained area. And what people do is their entire thighs will get done. Their whole sternum, stuff like that. Like not
Right.
sternum, their whole abdomen. Like those people are laying there in excruciating pain for weeks.
Month
and
and a
know
half.
that.
These are
Yeah.
people who need help wiping their ass. Like,
Yeah.
these people
This-
are in trouble.
The one that I was referring to is you would be in bed. You need someone to take care of you for 2
Yeah, that-
days, after only 2 days, and then you can get on a plane and you can fly back home, and you will be doing exercises, light working out at the gym, lifting light weights 2 weeks after.
2
Oh.
weeks.
But
Yeah, what you're
but the
describing is a whole
difference is
different.
he was extracting. She was having something extracted that was going to be used elsewhere, whereas this one it's probably going right in the trash.
He's
or some
trying to
shit.
destroy the fat on the way out. I follow the
Mhm.
difference. Get it and report back. Let us know how rough it was.
Well, I decided against it. I
Decide
decided
for it
against-
because I want to know more.
I honestly like.
I
it's
am
one
the
of those
main
things-
character, and you are but a minion. I am sending to report.
You're the author. Sounds like you're the
Get
author.
the lipo.
You're writing the next chapter of my life. No, but I always thought about that stuff. I always considered that stuff. I always thought it was like funny when people were just like, "Oh, epic mealtime, like manly man thing," and I'm like, I get my teeth whitened, and I sometimes like tan. I like when I wanted fake
Mitch
teeth, when I
Hedberg's in
wanted veneers,
Mhm.
I went and my logic was I wanted Steve Harvey's mouth.
Mm.
And my orthodontist was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm on camera. I think every single thing I do would be way funnier if I had huge white teeth."
That's the mustache. Oh, Steve
would.
Harvey inspired.
Dude, it would have been funny
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
if you.
I don't think your teeth can look as white as his. It's a comparison thing, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, now I got the Invisalign because there's just a lot with my mouth that
Oh,
I
you
wanted
did
to
that.
fix anyways. Yeah, I remember we spoke about it a
I
whole
remember
bunch.
now. Yeah. How is it turning out for you?
I have 100 days left on it. Then I
Okay.
heard that I get like retainers and stuff or whatnot.
Does it
But
hurt?
I've been super happy. Sometimes it hurts. Like when I first started, I was very depressed. It hurt, and I was like depressed kind of for like a couple days. Now I like the pain. Now I like when I put on a new tray and I have like every single one of my teeth being squeezed. It's a very strange feeling, but I kind of like it.
My last couple months,
Mhm.
I felt like my teeth barely moved. You know, like I had 18 months to do roughly. And it seemed like most of the progress was in the first 4 months. And then the last, what is that?
You're right.
14. It's incalculable.
These are my last trays, and they slip on the easiest.
They hardly do anything. And I'm like, am I wasting my time? What's up with here? I liked wearing them though. It was almost like having a mouth guard in. And I do this, I do stupid things like jump my motorcycle and whatever. And I just sort of liked the idea that all my teeth were kind of locked in and things were okay. I couldn't bite my own tongue or lips very hard because they're all rounded by the Invisalign braces. And now I just have like dangerous teeth unleashed on my tongue and cheeks all the time. It was something to readjust to.
Yeah,
my teeth are messed up from doing drugs in my teenage years, and I've got cuts in my mouth all over the place every day, man. I got razor sharp teeth, and I was thinking about maybe a Invisalign might bring everything home again. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, Mike, that's interesting you say that. Your teeth look great from you just talking. Like I don't like
them.
Yeah, that looks great. Like
they didn't fall out and they stayed white, but I ground them. On one side they're totally flat, and on this side they're totally sharp. You can see where I was grinding.
Oh yeah, like I see. I grind
what was
my
the
teeth
drug?
too. I do that.
That was just a lot of Molly powder did this to my teeth, pure ecstasy.
What did you eat it or something or drink it?
Yeah,
I mostly ate it. I mostly
what do
ate
you do? Then you're high on Molly?
Oh yeah, then I'd be rolling balls, and I did that for like a solid year before I got locked up. And I never wanted to invest the $1 to go get a pacifier or some Jolly Ranchers that would have prevented this from happening.
How like so you would drink it or something like that?
No, I would straight eat it, spoonfuls of it.
So pause here. I want to understand what happened. Was it the actual like chewing on a Molly that did this to you, or being on Molly? Like
yeah, you grind your teeth when you're on it. It makes you.
Have you done like a stimulant like that ever? Like something like that, Woody? Have you ever done anything like a drug like that?
I don't think anything in that class. No.
You've done you smoked weed. You never did coke?
Adderall, perhaps.
I haven't done coke. I haven't done Adderall. I've done medicinal, which is like a mild Adderall, prescribed from a doctor. I did ketamine, which is probably the coolest drug I've done.
That doesn't make you grind your teeth. At least not my experience.
How did you do ketamine?
So the viewers heard about it a few weeks ago, but
I don't give a fuck about them.
This is why I'll tell it quickly. Mind Bloom. This is they're not a sponsor or anything, but I found an article about them. I went there and they're like a therapy thing. I was kind of going through it a little bit, like having depression, which I feel much better now if anyone cares. But so I went to Mind Bloom and I was like, my goal is to kind of find happiness. And they're like, yeah, that's what we do here. And they would teach you how to take ketamine and deliver it for you. So first they get like, your height and weight and your dose, and they take a little guess. They kind of guess lower so they don't fuck you up. And then the first time there's like a therapist, they go over what your goal is out of this trip. And you journal afterwards. They even send you like a blood pressure cuff, a journal, a blindfold, and set you up for success. They teach you how to take it, which I wouldn't have known.
So that's an exact page out of mushrooms and how they'll guide you in a mushroom trip, which a lot of people do. Okay, sorry, continue. But like in like you could find mushroom places like that with the journal and everything.
I didn't know that.
I think ketamine is actually after mushrooms. Mushrooms is first in this conversation, and I think ketamine is a bit newer. I might be wrong. Or it might just be a Canadian thing, but mushrooms is out and ketamine is the next.
That's interesting. I thought they were comparable.
No, they are. Anyway, they are. I've heard, but I don't know.
Okay.
A lot. Sorry, continue.
So they teach you how to take ketamine. Afterwards, I took it, and
how did you take it? It was a powder.
So it was a pill. There were like 4 of them. You put it under your tongue and you let them dissolve, and then you hold it there for 7 minutes. Now I would kind of cheat it and hold it for like 9 because.
You want that to hit.
Gotta get that dope.
You get a snitch on me? And then you spit it out. You're not supposed to swallow it because it can make you sick. And then what does it feel like? Well, I was under a weighted blanket and I felt like I was on sort of a warm, slippery slide, like a water slide type thing that was slow and casual and enjoyable. They have a soundtrack. This is Mind Bloom. They have this like binaural audio. I'd never listened to it, not on K. But in the K-hole, it was exactly kind of the mood to set. And then I would sit there and focus on the shit I was trying to figure out, like, how do you fill Jackie's bucket? What should we do with Colin next? Things like what to me are like my big issues.
Right. Yeah.
And when I'm on there.
Do you know how many milligrams per pound of your body weight they gave you? Did they tell you the dose?
I know that I started on 250 and moved to 400. So
milligrams.
probably.
Okay.
Yeah. And when I'm in this K-hole, one, it's a really enjoyable sort of slide, and I would just go with whatever I felt was happening to me. Oh, my sliding feet first down a dark, warm, happy water slide. Well, that's where we'll go. I'm not fighting it. I'm not controlling it. I'm just taking what I get. And then all the ideas and thoughts I had were not subject to the same sort of second guessing that you have.
The judgment.
Yeah, judgment. Like right now, if you were to like, you know what, maybe I should start this kind of business, another part of you would immediately say, well, here are the pitfalls to going down that avenue. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. When you're on K, every idea you have is a great one. And
unrestricted.
You've come up with your personal answer key. You journal it, and then you can, review those answers later. But at least at one point, you had full confidence. This is exactly what needed to happen next. And I came out and started feeling much better after the 6 sessions. I don't know if it's the K. Maybe I would have felt that way anyway. Time passes, feelings change. But it was a good experience for me.
It was a perspective shift, if nothing else,
So, I had done it like casually, like friend thing, did it and thought it was like another drug that exists in powdered form.
Tell me about your setting.
That's how I did it.
It was just like my buddy and my friends, and we're just like chilling. And it was a friend of mine. And
did you
he was like,
walk
"Oh, I got
on it." Were you in a bed? Did you have music?
I'm in the basement of my house,
Just chilling.
and we're chilling. And and he was like, "Yeah, here, this thing." And I'm like, "Cool, let's put down a line." And we thought it was like another drug, and did the size of the line that you maybe would do if you were in Hollywood and enjoyed this drug. He's nailing it. Josh nailed it. So the first time I did it, like you do it, and then it was like that. And I like was sitting there, and I did it, and I was like this, and like I could move. I could. I'm not going to because I don't want to, but I could move. And my fingers exactly where they are on the couch, and the grooves of this couch is so perfect. I don't even want to move it a millimeter. And my feet in my socks, in my shoes are perfect. I'm not moving. Everything is perfect.
Locked
I'm not
in.
moving. Locked in. Don't know how much time passed, but then finally the garage door opened, like behind us, like to my house, and Muscle's glasses actually. And Tyler came in, and they had hot dogs and French fries and stuff. And as soon as they came in, me and my other buddy were both like, "Oh my God, how long were we there? This is not, I literally need to eat. And I can't believe it. If you didn't come, I would have never left what was just happening." And then I didn't touch it. And I didn't
Take
touch it
your
for a long
setting.
time.
Mine was, I had a similar type thing. I didn't move an inch, not a millimeter. I laid like this, like a Dracula in a coffin. I had a weighted blanket, a scented candle, and a blindfold and headphones on playing music, and I didn't move at all. Although I had the sensations of moving. I
That
thought I was
sounds
sliding
scary,
around.
bro. That sounds scary as fuck to me, honestly.
Well, then-
Okay, it's not your cup of tea, but it was mine.
I would
And
probably,
so-
I would have tried it when I was doing stuff like that, but that I already know that's going to be some introspection
Wait.
you got to be ready for.
Wait, so I did it, and then like the next time I did it was like years later, and I did it a very small amount, and I heard it's like drunk like sober, and I was like drunk, but like you don't know you're drunk until like you get into a scenario like you're like I was out, so it's like a party drug now too. Like at this point, it's evolved to that, and I'm out, and it's like you don't realize how fucked up you are until like you get to a place where the lights are on and you're walking down the stairs. And as you're going down the stairs, that's when you realize your like motor functions are not exactly where they would be.
fall.
They're kind of like you're drunk, except your head is clear, your mind is clear. And in fact, you're thinking quite a bit, and you remember everything about the night. You don't forget everything. You don't forget anything. And you remember everything, and you remember your interactions, and you could talk to people.
But your body is drunk.
Yeah. But then the next time I had found this, basically the means of consuming it, which is like now like a really hot way to consume ketamine, is K spray. It's like perfectly into like a nasal spray device.
What?
Mixed in, and every pump is like a perfect like 0.10 milligrams or 0.11 milligrams, and like usually just people just go and the thing about ketamine, which I learned, is it's not like cocaine. Ketamine stacks. Cocaine does not stack. As in like a buff. That. Well, you know, like buffs in like an RPG. You take this potion and you get 10% buff. Take it again. Does it stack? You're 20% buff. Take it a third time, your defense is 30% buffed. Okay. Or does it not stack and you take it and it's a one-time 10% every time? So like you do coke, you are like buffed. You are on coke. maximum. You're 100% on coke. So
regardless of dose.
And then 10 minutes later, you are like 20% on coke. So you do it again. Now you're max on coke, 100%. Ketamine is like you do it, you go, and now it's like you are on ketamine. You know, let's say you're 100% on ketamine right now. The next time you pump it in, you are 140% on ketamine. You do it more, you're 180% on ketamine. And then you do it, it's like you are 500% on ketamine, you have disassociated.
Right.
You have exited your body, your soul is separate from your body. And in my experience, it was like I'm at this place called Stereo, which exists in Montreal, and Stereo is a blacked out place that opens at 3 p.m. It's a fucking haunted house. It's insane. It's weird. The people in there are weird. No disrespect to them. I'm there. It's just a fucked up, weird place. And every time you go, you're like, I'm never coming back. This was amazing. I'm never coming back. And then when you end up back there, you're like, how the fuck did I come back there? It has a very valuable floor, as dumb as that sounds. And it has like 180 lights on the ceiling that are so perfectly calculated down to the millisecond that sometimes they do these strobe effects that looks like you are literally in a 90s CRT TV right in front of you. Ooh, you don't even have to be high for it to not feel fucking crazy. You could be sober. The lights are insane. The sound system, each speaker is like $180,000 speaker. Like when you get there, it does not feel like North America, because when people come from all over the world and they Google about what there is in Montreal, Stereo is one of the things that come up as a special thing, as a nightlife experience. There's no alcohol there, but it goes from like 3 a.m. until like 1 p.m. the next day. And they're fucking militant. There's no phones. You can't take your phone out. There's no chewing gum. You do anything wrong, they'll punch you in the face and throw you out. And the biggest fucking druggies go there, and also the biggest music fans, the biggest DJs try their sets out there, and it's just a very interesting, fascinating place. And it's a weird place to ever try a drug for the first time or really experience one. So I was there, and I had done ketamine to the point that I was now a 7,000-year-old baby from an alternate dimension, and I wasn't me, and that was okay, because everyone is a 7,000-year-old baby from an alternate dimension, and that's what
you're
think.
Walking around on in your K-hole.
I'm walking and I'm dancing and I'm talking to friends. Like I'm walking and I'm doing it. And it's been like, this is like, by the time I get here, I've dosed slowly and stacked until I've hit this perfect cocktail at like 3 a.m. that started when we first went out drinking at like 10 p.m. So we're drinking at the same time, smoke a little bit, you know, we're hanging out, we're doing our thing, and you just experience this. So this goes on, and then you hit that level where it's just like, now I'm like, because like what you did is like a recreational amount. Like it's like a passive recreational. It's a good amount. It's nice. Where I got to was like, now it's like you've reached the maximum level where you are like literally disassociated. And once that happens, you don't get proper footing for anything. You could speak to people and you're not like, but like I literally like looked at like my buddy who got this for us, who is like used to it. And it's funny, he's just like a bald dude, and he like hooked it up. But when I looked at him, he was the boss baby. Everyone was disgusting and dirty, but the dealer, he was boss baby. This made sense in my head. And I went up to him, and at one point I was like, yo, I gotta ask you. Right now, I feel like life is a cartoon and I'm in space. And now as I'm talking to you about this, it's nothing like a cartoon at all. In fact, I have 14 seconds of being completely clear-headed. This is a really crazy experience. What am I feeling? And he was like, it's the ketamine that will... And I'm like, thank you. That encapsulates perfectly what's going on. That's what I meant. And that's exactly it. And I'm glad to know that we're literally on the same page. I was so fucked up. And what you said that was really hit with me is you said every idea is a good idea. And you are 100% right. Because I woke up the next day and I said, I'm going to box again. I woke up and I was like, I am going to box someone again. I was boxing to stay in shape. I was like, but I will fight again. So I put the call out.
Do you have an announcement to make?
I put the call out there, and I will be boxing again is my announcement.
Hey, nice.
Yes, that is the announcement.
Awesome,
and it is literally about like a notch away from being locked in. And now that I'm not on ketamine, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm back at boxing. I'm like, why? I beat up a gamer. Why am I going back?
When
I had one more thing. So I did 6K trips during my little session with Mind Bloom, and I described most of them, right? Where you go in with a goal, afterwards you journal what happens, etc. Trip number 5. I don't know. I just wasn't firing on all cylinders. Maybe I forgot my goal or I couldn't focus on it or anything. And you have to understand there's this music that's playing through the headphones. It's on my laptop, which is a Mac. And because of that, I have texting right there. And nothing's really hitting. I don't have any solutions. I feel like I'm failing at a school assignment or something. So I pull my blindfold up just a little bit and I hop on text and I hit up Jackie and I just say fuck me. The journal session from that one is straight up lit erotica. Like everything she did for me along the way. And it was one of my better experiences in the end. She just, it was everything I hoped it would be.
So it still worked out, even though at first it felt a little off.
My night that I was describing, my favorite part about that night was it was one of the first nights, or the only night that I could think of, where I went out for the night and sex was not at all a motivation at any point in the night at all. So I went out and every human looked grotesque except for the friends that I came with, and camaraderie was the peak thing. There was nothing about me that was horny or wanted to fuck any girl or anything at all. And I literally I want to fuck all of you right now. Like that's how it normally
So
is.
that's saying something.
Exactly. So I was out and I was like I went to the after hours. This is interesting. And then we're gonna talk about
Kyle's thing.
Okay. Yeah. I went out to have a cigarette, and I don't smoke cigarettes, but I'm a 7,000-year-old space baby. I walk out and there's all these people there in the cigarette pit. And it's like Stereo has a disgusting cigarette pit. Art directors would never be able to make this. It looks like, if I showed it to you, if you were there right now, you'd be like, we are in war-torn Ukraine. That's what you would think. That's what it looks like. And everyone's speaking different languages because everyone's just from all over the world. And you're there and I'm there, and I was having a fucking phenomenal night. And I walked out super messed out and I said, I am appalled and fucking disgusted. And a guy there was like, why? And I'm like, because this is the best night of my life. And he was like, I don't get you. And I was like, I'm disgusted and appalled because this is the best night of my life. He's like, you sound mad. I'm like, I'm not. I'm fucking happy. And it's disgusting. And I said that, and my friends didn't think sense of it, and I kind of had perfect sense in my head. When I woke up the next day, the thing that I was trying to say was that I can't believe throughout my entire life that this right now, this cigarette pit, smoking this cigarette, I don't like cigarettes. This is the best time of my life. This was the happiest I've ever been because of a fabricated, silly fucking spray that I bought for an amount of money, and my stupid fucking body and DNA got tricked into thinking this was the best thing ever. However, the clear-headedness of Kay was like, this is disgusting and ugly. I was dancing tonight. I don't like to dance, but I mean, my friends went out and we're dancing, and now we're smoking a cigarette, and I don't smoke a cigarette, and I am peak fucking happiness to the maximum. I'm disgusted that God and the universe did this to me. My best night is here right now doing this.
That's probably what it feels like to be an angel all the time. And we lost that in exchange for a soul.